The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today from the tri-state area of Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia with ExP Realty, Ryan Keeton. Ryan, how are you?
I am good, man. Pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Looking forward to having a little chat.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm going to ask you the same thing I ask everybody on this first question because I'm always dying to know. Were you 5 years old, tugging on your parents' pant leg saying, hey, mom, dad, how do I become a realtor when I get older? Or are you like the rest of us and you kind of fell butt backwards into it?
Well, it's probably a little bit of combination of the two. Actually, whenever I went to college, I had a dual bachelor's degree in real estate and finance.
Oh, okay.
And actually, at the time, said I would never sell real estate because real estate didn't require a degree. So for whatever reason, in my head as a stupid 20-year-old individual, I thought that's not what I wanted to do. So I did appraisals for a little bit, worked with a professor that I had there, did that for a few years, and then totally went in a different direction. Got into medical sales, did that for a better part of a decade. And then, just through weird circumstances or drugs going generic or whatever it was, I found myself with an opportunity to kind of redefine my career. And at that point, I started doing consulting work, and I consulted with a company that sold real estate throughout the U.S. and brought in investors. And I was really kind of helping them shape their business model, sparked the bug back up. And I was like, well, I guess never say never. And
right.
That was in
Here I am. Oh, well, hey, it's turning out great though, isn't it? You don't know what you don't know sometimes. And the
beautiful thing is I don't believe I would have had the results that I had as quickly as I did without those experiences, because having the opportunity to run some businesses, and I worked for a startup and did some different things before I made my way to real estate. But bringing all of that and realizing that real estate is a business, I do this full time, and approaching it that way with business plans and building a team and group and those kind of things, it just, to me, was astronomical how quickly I could grow by having those experiences and having that life behind me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a common misnomer or misunderstanding or even just lack of education. It's common to think, or I think where new realtors come in, we're always trying to mentor some of the young folks come in, but it really is your business. It's whether you're putting a nameplate up on the wall or not, or however you do it, working out of your home office, or you go rent 50,000 square feet, whatever it is, it's a business and you have to run it like a business. It's not just, I guess they always say, oh man, I love houses. And I was like, well, if you just love houses, maybe you should go be an architect.
I got into it so I could make a lot of money.
Right. It's about running a business. It's about people especially, needs, wants, desires, breaking hearts, making dreams come true, the bottom line. So we hear how you got started, which is awesome. That's a fantastic story. I appreciate you sharing it with us. Tell us about today. Do you have multiple teams, or how does that look right now? What does it look like for you?
Yeah, I have a little small team. I've got 3 agents that work for me, and then we have 2 staff members that kind of help run the ship and do everything. So that was a passion and something I pretty much wanted to do from the beginning. And of course, I had to prove it to myself first before you go out and do that stuff. So I had a model to put that into, but we've had some incredible success.
Nice.
one of the things that I've been very persistent on is making sure I try to bring in the right people that have the right mindset.
Yeah.
We have a pretty, I wouldn't say strict, but a pretty thorough path that we
Right.
put them on, and tools and resources, and overall just really the mindset of how we want them to go about this and the way they should think about it.
Is that part of the vetting process, is basically letting them know, hey, I hate to say it this way, and I wouldn't say it this way, but kind of like it's our way, the highway, but if you want to be on the bus, you got to play by our manuscript, right? Or our playbook.
I think to a certain degree it's that, but I think one of the things that we pride ourselves, and one of the things that I always want to be mindful of, is that I don't know it all.
Right.
Just because I've had success, that's Ryan's personality and how I do things. But, we want other opportunities and we want other thoughts to come in. So one of the things that we do is specifically with our group is we give them an opportunity to kind of be leaders in certain things, because they're going to bring skill sets in that maybe I don't have, or maybe I do have, but they're going to put a tweak or a twist on it that's going to enhance what I'm doing. So, to go back to that business mindset, that even though they come into the team, it's still their business. It's their, opportunity to fail or succeed by what they put into it. So with that mindset, we're going to give them some parameters. We're going to give them some tools and resources and tell them some ways to be successful. But then we also want them to put their spin and bring in what they can do, and then give them opportunities to lead. So that way, as we continue to grow the group, I'm going to have built-in leaders that understand they're running a business, and we've put this platform around them, and then now they can go out and be even more successful.
Yeah. Nice. So what is the next? So we heard about how you started and kind of how things look on the teams now. And what does the next 1, 3, and 5 years look like? Or maybe just one, start it there. What does the future look like?
Well, that right up there, the success certified coach,
Nice.
that has been really a godsend. It's something that I've always been interested in coaching. And I did a certain degree of that within the team, or not a certain degree, a large degree of that within the team. With the success coaching, now it becomes a little less mentor, and talking to people in a different type of way to actually coach them to get the results that they want. So moving forward, the goal is to continue to grow the coaching platform. I love the fact that success is more of a holistic approach. So, we understand people are individuals, right? They're not just real estate agents that sell real estate, and you can't do anything else in life besides that. Although it feels that way sometimes,
Right.
we have to keep everything else kind of in perspective. So that's really what I want to continue to grow the coaching platform. We've got a really heavy focus on growing the team. We've got built an incredible onboarding process. So now we feel like we're uniquely positioned to be able to help additional individuals between my success coaching, between the leadership opportunities that the people in the group have taken, and just really our overall approach at how we help people learn to do the business. So that's our growth plan, is to really focus on increasing the group and bringing in some additional agents, and also with the success coaching for me individually, and then also to even bring along some of the other group members. So that way, just more well-rounded, more opportunities, so that, I'm a big believer that the market's going to have its ebb and flow, right? We're in an ebb or flow, whichever one you want to call it. We're on the opposite.
I feel like I'm being ebbed. I don't know.
And I think the big thing is that one of the things I told them all the way throughout the past 2 years is live it up, guys. Live it up. This isn't reality of what selling real estate is.
Right.
At least in our market, it wasn't. It can be a form of that, but it's not going to be always this easy. You're not going to put a property on the market and get 40, offers, or 10, or whatever you're appropriate for your market. But how you set yourself up and how you approach it, that's what's going to get you to the next level and allow you to kind of come through this on the other side. So now that we're kind of in that point, that's been a big push. And then another thing that we're doing is really trying to get invested to our local high schools, to where I've been going in and doing some talks with our local high school students that maybe college isn't, their path that they want to go, or they're interested in real estate. And even in our small little independent schools, we're usually finding at least one or two, maybe even 7 to 10 that have some interest just to learn about it. So, one of the things we want to do is just tell them what it is and what it isn't, right? Because
Yeah, for sure.
read the news and think, oh, this is what real estate is. So
Right.
having that has been, kind of nice as well, because it'd be cool to get those really early that have a passion, just don't know how to harness it, and be able to really show them what the future could be by
Right.
plugging in correctly.
Yeah, it's amazing you say that. Well, twofold. I remember, being in college at 19 years old, and my parents' neighbor was a realtor, and my stepdad's like, "Well, you gotta talk to so and so next door, man. He does real well, da, 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 da," and I go, "Okay," and I happened to catch him putting door hangers up, and he was, this is telling my age, this is in 1989. I'm 19. He's putting door hangers up, and so I got to talking to him, and he was like, "Oh man, it's a lot of work. You got to put, go see people, go do this, da, da, da," and I was like, "Really? I'm out." But
Yeah.
the funny thing is, now catapult ahead seems like a trillion years, right? If somebody like yourself would have had that conversation with me and maybe explain the broader approach, and also realities,
Yeah.
it might have been a different story. I mean, I can't imagine at 19 me doing, being in real estate. That guy would have been just might have had trouble. But
Yeah.
now I look at having 4 grown sons myself. They see a different world, right? I mean, it's like I always say, HGTV lies to us. They're the WWE of real estate, right? They put together these shows we get enthralled with. This
Yeah.
is easy. I'm going to buy a car and drive around and wave to people and sell $10 million homes. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Not at all. So yeah, I think that's fantastic. I mean, outreach like that, I think needs to be done on a regular basis. I love it. I love what I'm hearing about that. So tell me about the areas that you work. So it's a tri-state area, like you said, West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky. Any major differences between the 3 areas? Are they very similar, or how does that work when you work those areas?
Yeah, it's very similar. It's a little comical because, I mean, as far as prices and all that kind of stuff, it's very similar, but you have very strong opinions. If you're a Kentucky person, you're not Ohio, or if
Right.
you're Ohio, you're not Kentucky. So we have some of that unique, but it's really, in the grand scheme of things, it's a rural area. In the city of Ashland, I think we have 15 or 20,000 people, and that's taken into consideration the county as well. So
Right.
it's a small area. So and all of the other cities around that, probably the largest city that we have is probably Huntington, which is Huntington, West Virginia, where Marshall University is.
Right.
It's 30 minutes away, but even that's not really a large, city. It's more of an old industrial city that, is just kind of evolved into what it is today. So it's a unique situation. But one of the things that we have to do in regards to that, though, and we welcome and we actually enjoy, is we cover a much wider area. So we will travel just about anywhere in Kentucky if a
Oh,
client
wow.
wants to stick with us. I've sold a
Right.
house on the Tennessee border 7 hours away
Wow.
because the client was moving here from out of state, moving here from
Good.
California, and they were like, I don't want to work with anybody else. We've tried that route and it just didn't work. So, that puts a little more onus on us to make sure that we understand the market, that we're serving them correctly. We certainly educate them to, hey, I don't work down there every day, but
Right.
I'm going to put the effort and time in that I'm probably going to know the market just as well, if not better, than maybe somebody that is working down there that isn't working full time and putting that in. So we're not doing that every day. We can't do that for a $80,000 house. We have, in special circumstances, but for the most part, we're probably within, I would say, a good 2.5 hour radius around
Okay.
that area.
So how do you get found, being that you're in one location and, like you said, the whole state of Kentucky, or maybe all of Southern Ohio, or Western West Virginia, whatever it might be. How do folks, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of referrals for sure.
Yeah.
But how in general are you being found in those areas? Like, maybe somebody who's looking or transferring, looking, whatever it might be, to move to Lexington or somewhere like that. How are you actively marketing nationwide, or is there anything like that, or it just happens to be referral?
Now, we are heavily focused on Zillow. We put a lot of time and effort in there. In my
Okay.
market, I absolutely love when someone says that they hate Zillow and they think it's garbage and nothing can be sold. Okay, great.
Right.
I got a pretty good little income coming just from that. But
Yeah.
so I've been best of Zillow ever since I've been on the platform,
Nice.
consistently hit that. We put a lot of emphasis on social media. This coming year, we're going to put a lot more emphasis on video and doing community videos and outreach and things of that nature, where we highlight things that are here, because we are a smaller community. So, most people, when they look to that, think, well, there's nothing to do there. Well, we're going to educate them on that. So that's a heavy focus with doing the YouTube videos, but a lot of social media. I've been on Housing Wire and a few different situations to where people have reached out to me proactively for
Right.
interviews or comments on the global community and getting a small town perspective.
Nice.
So a lot of that kind of stuff has helped. And then just activity. We are
Stay busy.
Yeah. We stay busy.
That's good.
We try to stay top of mind,
Right.
and very specific on what our message is.
Fantastic. So how would someone get in touch with you, Ryan, if they either, wanted to list, or maybe they need to buy, or maybe they just want to chew your ear a little bit about success coaching and what they, some of their needs there? How would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me directly on my cell phone is 606-782-2459. You can email me as well. Probably the easiest email is just Ryan Keeton at mac.com. Got a good old Apple
Right.
original. So, and Ryan Keeton
Still
at
works,
PE,
man.
or all that kind of stuff. All that will still come to me, or Ryan Keeton at iCloud, but Ryan Keeton at Mac is probably the easiest. I'm all over Facebook. You can find me there as well.
All right.
So yeah.
Perfect. So I always like to have my guests I always say, you're the hit record. I'm just the DJ spinning it. Take us out and here in this last minute or two and share what's, on your heart, your mind, your soul, that you think our listeners might need to hear now.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've been really passionate on and working, we've done it within my group, and now I've tried to expand on that with putting an actual workshop together with teaching people on how to find out their why and their purpose of, if it's real estate, this is a real estate podcast, but, if they've chosen real estate, why did they do that? And then really digging in, because, it's funny when you do that originally, a lot of times people will just say, well, I want to make a lot of money. I want to do that.
Right.
Okay. Well, let me chunk down a little bit.
Yeah.
Why do you want to make a lot of money? And usually can get up to the point of what really is driving them and gets them up. For me personally, kind of my mantra is it's all about you. And it is, whether that's my agents that work for me or my clients that I'm working with, and whoever I'm working, I love to serve. And that's the whole purpose of putting together this workshop and doing the coaching, is to help people, because it's not an easy process, right? It's a little bit of self-discovery, and it's a little bit of really thinking and having somebody that can ask the right questions to help you get to that. And then from there, helping them build out, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do, what resources are you going to have in place? What things are you going to do? That's really been a passion, because even if you don't come to me for that workshop or you don't do coaching, I really challenge anybody watching this to put some thought into that, because your first impressions are so much better whenever you know why you're doing something. You're just physically going to present better. Your eye contact and things of that nature. Your marketing that you put out is going to be more authentic, which I talk about too, because the authentic is kind of a generic buzzword that people, oh, I'm authentic. Well, what does that mean? that's what I'm trying to, that's kind of my mantra. And I'm really trying to get out to everybody is put some thought into that, because
Right.
it's amazing how much it matters and how much, you know, because the valleys and the hard days and the bad things that go wrong that are just inevitable with any business. If you have that at your core and you know that's why you're doing it, the rest of that hurdle's so much smaller.
I agree. That's sage advice, man. I love it. Ryan Keeton, EXP Realty, Success Coaching, Tri-State area, West Virginia, Ohio, and the beautiful state of Kentucky. Thanks for being on program, Ryan. I really appreciate it. Love what you had to say. Look forward to catching up with you the next 3, 6, 9 months and see how things are going.
Excellent. Thank you.
Have a great one.